So welcome to our webinar series. This is going to be titled Being Successful Using Audit History. This is going to be both on discovery jobs and just audit history in general. When I talk about audit history, I like to break it down into two components: the history of everything that's going on with the MA as far as devices being added, as far as things being deleted, users being logged in, more administrative, and then device type history, when that device was added, when something's changed, how that device was added, through what scan that device came in through. Perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and just share my screen here, and let's see if this will work for me. Oops, and stop sharing for a second and just reshare. Sorry about that. Sweet. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to analytics here, and then we're going to go to our history, not the archived objects. So that would be just more devices. And we're going to look for, say, a discovery job that was deleted. Through here, I actually noticed yesterday that I was missing a few discovery jobs in my main appliance, mostly storage. So that actually worked out perfectly. So we can basically parse out here and see how they were deleted. So let's go by the content type here. I know that my storage jobs were gone. I don't know what day they were deleted or through with which method, if I went through the API or just did an import export or whatever the case is. Perfect. So here are my storage jobs here. I can see some data here as far as what was collected last time that anything was collected for those actual storage jobs, or storage discovery jobs. And then I can see here that something happened on the 23rd. So let's go by action. Let's go by delete. And here we go. So I can see that these jobs were, some of them were deleted on the 23rd around 6:14. Then I had some other ones that were deleted back in December of 2022. So this is going to be a great way just to see that administrative side of things, parse out through different things when something was deleted. Another thing that you could do here is you can check to see when an actual person logged in. I'm going to go probably this month. I want to see all users that have logged in at this month. And I could see that so far it was myself with my admin account, some Jay Ferrero character as well, an Amy and a Stan all logged into my device here. Then I can just basically go into all of them. I know that this person was logged in, so let's see what this person has done in general. All right, so they've logged in roughly around a few times a month, except on this March 31st, they've logged in a bunch of times. So again, great way for it, just getting that administrative type of thing, see what was done as far as this was more administrative. This is, setting up business applications, changing IP addresses. So it's going to be a great way to actually see those things. So let's actually go here. Let's go to my assets. Another good thing to see is exactly what user did something. So I'm just going to go ahead and delete this asset of mine. Yep, that's fine. And then we're going to go back to analytics. We're going to go back to the history here. And we are going to just go by delete again. So I see that on 2 separate occasions, myself being the admin, deleted this object, which was the webinar laptop. One was done through the API, which was done earlier this morning. And the other was done straight through the UI as well. So let's check out assets in total here. All of them. Yep, and there was that API call at 4:44 as well. So this is the first part of basically, your audit logs. Again, you're gonna find great useful information on here. If someone deletes something, you don't really know who that was, or want to get a little bit more information around that, you can certainly go through here. There's definitely a lot of logs that are kept here, and I'll tell you how to do that, or how to kind of circumvent that and maintain that a little bit better going forward. Because as you know, logs, depending on how many logs you have or how many different records you have, could take up a lot of space. As you can see here on just my device with only a few, or on my main appliance, only a few devices, I've got about almost 3 million logged events. So the second thing that I wanted to show you before I jump into maintaining all of that is going to be the logs that you would find in a device. So we're going to check here for my regular desktop that we have. And really, I want to know where this device came from, how it was added to my actual discovery job, or to my actual main appliance, what discovery job, or how it was done. So let's go here. It tells us it was done through the agent here. But let's click on one of these dates as well. This is going to confirm it. This was done through the actual agent. I have an agent on my desktop, and that is how I bring data over to device 42. Let's take a look at another type of device here. So let's go into our virtual devices. And let's go on this one because I really have no idea. So this is a virtual host Docker 01. It's a Docker container, but let's look at those history logs here. So this right here, on any job that's really done through an audit discovery job, once you parse down into that audit history for the device, it's going to provide you with the D42 URL. That URL will actually take you to the discovery job in which it originated. So this is going to be really great if, say, you have duplicates. You can basically click on both those duplicates to see if they came from different jobs. A lot of times when you have duplicates, you may have say a VMware type job, and you might have the naming options set to whatever, just host name. But you also might be scanning that individual VM through an OS level scan. And on that job, you may have the naming convention to something different. So you might get a duplicate, as those VMs may not provide you with the UUID or that serial number, and the name would differ from the actual OS level scan as well. So again, this is going to be really great, especially if you have unprocessed device records and you don't really know where those devices are coming from, or you have one device that is, named something completely different from the other one. You can parse through those actual history logs to see where those jobs or where those devices came from. I already looked through both of these, and basically they both came from the exact same job, but only difference was that in preparation for this, I changed the naming convention to give name as found on VMware tools. So that is the VMware name of my remote collector, and that is just my host name of my remote collector. Sweet. So let's move over to just kind of like maintenance wise. So I mentioned before that these logs can be really extensive, depending on how long you've actually kept these logs. If you've done anything to it, they can, be in the millions, hundreds of millions of different records. And obviously that could be very cumbersome. So there's going to be a few things that you can really do. One, you can go into your appliance manager. You can then go to, I believe it's application. You can clear your system logs, boom, clear them there. Then you can optimize if needed to. And that's usually going to be on a drastic situation when you're running out of space and you notice you have a lot of logs. That's when you're going to want to do that. Other things that you could do here as well are going to be change your actual log settings. If there's something that you have as far as an integration for your logs, you can throw that in there as well. You can actually select the amount of days that you would like to keep your logs. So I'm just going to keep my logs going forward for about 2 weeks. And then that should start cleaning up logs going forward. Another thing that we could do as well is we can go to the history or tools, settings, history, audit log exclusions. And through here, you can actually exclude certain types of things that you don't really want to keep any logs from. So I'm just going to choose a few things here, insights. And then you actually won't keep any logs for those actual things, any secret admin groups or any insights. So that gives you a way to basically manage the way that you will keep those logs, what type of information you're going to be keeping for those device history logs as well. Awesome. So last thing that I really wanted to go over is going to be, I guess, more so creating a report on any of this. As you guys all know, there's going to be two real major types of reports that you can create. One's going to be an advanced report, one's going to be a classic report. When it comes to audit history or anything like that, the best way to go about this is creating a classic report. And the reason for that is that any DOCL-based report, meaning the advanced reports, or if you just create it through the GUI, or if you throw a DOCL in there, it's only going to really keep that data for 10 days. And it's only really going to show you, any changes within those last 2 or 10 days. Anything older than that, it's not going to report on at all. So best way to go about it is to actually create the the classic report itself. I went ahead and created one here, just added a few columns and a few different sorts. Again, when it comes to classic reports, sometimes less is more. Some of these fields can be a little bit daunting, but really not much has to be filled out. Really just a time frame, if anything. So right now, I just want to see anything that had to do with audits, or sorry, with assets. Awesome. Let me know if you see that. If not, it's just basically a spreadsheet that shows anything that was done with those assets. As I mentioned before, I ran an API call to delete that. And again, if you want a little bit more information, you can throw different things on here as far as, what URL that came from, the origin type, user, if there's webhooks processed. And pretty much it. So I'm gonna leave it open to everyone just to see if there's any questions, or really anything. Yep, and I also have Stan, James, and Florin here who are gonna actually help moderate this and answer any questions that you may have. Yeah, so Ryan, I'll answer that one on here. So you could definitely schedule these right here when you're actually creating the audit report itself in the classic reports. If you scroll down here, there's actually a schedule that you can actually do. You can, for how many weeks, what days of the week you want. You could select the time. You would have to give it a report name, and you would have to put an email address on there. And that will actually go out towards your actual schedule. So Naomi, can you clarify that? So you basically want to create more so a report showing how many Cisco devices you had, or more so like if any Cisco devices were added or deleted. This is more so history logs. If you wanted to create a report on how many Cisco devices you have in total, and we could definitely do that with the devices report. We could probably throw out some kind of denominator, something that we could filter out for whether it's Cisco or switch or subtype or anything like that. Yeah, again, we could probably do that as far as how many Cisco devices were added through just a regular advanced report. If you want to set up, Naomi, a working session, I can send you an email after this and we can kind of, I guess, go over doing a class, or not doing a class report, doing an advanced report. That would probably be best. We could probably parse out under the devices table something for first added, and then throw some kind of a filter like where first added equals 30 days or greater than 30 days, less than 30 days, something like that. So Naomi, if you want, I'm going to send you an email after this, and we can set up a working session either with myself or one of the other CSEs as well. Awesome. See, we have a few other ones. Awesome. Does anybody else have any questions going forward? I know it's a little bit easy as far as doing those audit reports or audit history or device audit history. So yeah, I mean, I'll open it up to really anything, even if you guys have questions that don't really pertain to today's webinar. See if we can get some of these answered.
I'm going to jump in, John. Oh, one of the participants emailed me directly because we've worked together before. He had a question there. He sees a lot of entries in his log, in quotes, data to enrich AI. Can you speak to that? What those are? And you're only sharing the question slide, not your screen.
Yeah, so let's reshare this because sharing never works for me. Yeah, so that is most likely talking about anything that you would find under here we go. Your enrich AI data. Whoops. Yeah, I'm gonna guess it's that because I can't really see what we're talking about yet. So we're gonna go with that. So basically what enrich AI, or yeah, the enrich AI data is, it's gonna basically be, I guess, an enrichment, if you will, of any discovered device OSs, or any vendor data for right now. There's going to be other things that are going to be added going forward as well. So basically what this does is anything that's selected is going to kind of, I guess, be queued up and sent down to the enrich AI via HTTP, and it basically is going to like coalesce any type of data that you may be having here. It's going to really help out in the future with the different types of vendors that you may have. You may see, Microsoft has Microsoft, Microsoft.corp, Microsoft.com, Microsoft.net, and it's going to basically coalesce all of that in the future so that it notices that all of those are just Microsoft. I hope that answers your question. If not, just send me a screenshot and be more than happy to go over that for you or go through it. Anybody else have any, I guess, Device 42 general questions? So let's, while we're waiting for more questions, let's go back into our history here and just look at other types of objects. And if nobody has any other questions, I can give everybody a few minutes back in their day. Here we go. Yeah, I mean, Frank, we could definitely review affinity groups. Probably going to take a little bit longer than the 2 minutes. So we could set up a working session if you want to go over, affinity groups, what they're really used for, and just do some sort of a working session on that. We'd be more than happy to do that. Again, we have 2 minutes left, and there's definitely not enough time to go over such a deep topic like affinity groups. Awesome, Frank. I just sent you an email with my Calendly link. I'm sure you have it somewhere, but sent it again so we can just schedule something in, quick, maybe 15, 20 minutes, and then we'll go over the affinity groups and whatnot. Awesome. So yeah, I mean, if nobody has any other questions, I'll let you guys go, and thank you for attending, and stay tuned for some more information on our next webinar, which will be sometime in June. Thank you, everybody, for attending. Have a good day.